On Friday, October 13, 1307, before dawn, something unprecedented happened across France. Royal soldiers knocked on the doors of every Knights Templar commandery. The men inside were not warned. They were not armed. And by sunrise, one of the most powerful organizations in medieval Europe was in chains. The order that once protected pilgrims, financed kings, and fought in the Crusades was suddenly branded heretical. Not by its enemies in war, but by the very Christian kingdom it had served for nearly 200 years. This is the true story documented in royal records and papal bulls of how the Knights Templar were betrayed and destroyed. The Knights Templar were founded in 1119 in Jerusalem. Their leader was Hugh of Payens, a French knight. Their mission was simple: protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land after the First Crusade. In 1129, the Church officially recognized the order at the Council of Troyes, with support from Bernard of Clairvaux, one of the most influential churchmen of the era. From that moment, the Templars rose rapidly. They were monk soldiers. They took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Yet paradoxically, the order itself became extraordinarily wealthy. Why? Because kings, nobles, and merchants donated land, gold, and estates to them. The Templars developed an early international banking system. Pilgrims could deposit money in Europe and withdraw it in the Holy Land. By the 13th century, the Templars owned thousands of properties across Europe and the Mediterranean. They answered only to the Pope, not to kings, not to local bishops. This independence made them powerful, and power attracts enemies. By 1291, the last Crusader stronghold, Acre, fell to the Mamluks. The Crusades were effectively over. The Templars retreated to Europe, and suddenly, many rulers began asking a dangerous question. What purpose do the Templars serve now? One king, in particular, had a problem with them: King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair. Philip was deeply in debt. He had financed wars against England and Flanders. He had already expelled the Jews from France in 1306 and seized their assets. He had clashed repeatedly with the papacy over authority and money, and he owed a massive debt to the Knights Templar. Eliminating them would solve everything. But there was a problem. The Templars were protected by the Pope. So Philip did what medieval rulers often did best. He turned accusation into a weapon. In 1307, Philip secretly ordered an investigation. He accused the Templars of heresy. The charges were shocking: denial of Christ, spitting on the cross, idolatry, including worship of a mysterious idol, obscene initiation rituals. There was no physical evidence, only confessions, and those confessions were obtained under torture. On Friday, October 13, 1307, Philip ordered the mass arrest of Templars throughout France. The Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was arrested in Paris the same day. At first, Pope Clement V was furious. The arrests violated church authority. But Clement was a weak pope, politically dependent on France. Under pressure, he allowed papal inquiries to proceed. Templars across France were interrogated. Many confessed under torture. When torture stopped, many retracted their confessions. Records from the trials still exist today. They show broken men, contradictory statements, and coercion. In 1310, when dozens of Templars attempted to publicly defend the order in Paris, Philip intervened again. 54 Templars were burned at the stake as relapsed heretics. No papal verdict had been reached. The message was clear. In 1312, at the Council of Vienne, Pope Clement V officially dissolved the Knights Templar, not because they were proven guilty, but, in the Pope's own words, by way of provision, not by definitive sentence. In other words, they were dissolved for political necessity, not legal guilt. Their property was supposed to be transferred to the Knights Hospitaller. In practice, much of it never was. Philip kept a significant portion. 2 years later, in March 1314, Jacques de Molay and Geoffroy de Charny, the preceptor of Normandy, were brought before the public. They were expected to confess one last time. Instead, they did the unthinkable. They recanted. They declared the order innocent. That same day, by royal order, Both men were burned alive on an island in the Seine, in Paris. Contemporary chronicles confirmed the execution. No official church trial followed. No appeal was allowed. The Knights Templar were gone. The irony is impossible to ignore. The Knights Templar were accused of betrayal, yet it was betrayal that destroyed them. Not betrayal of faith, not betrayal of Christ, but betrayal by a king who wanted their wealth, and a pope who lacked the power to stop him. There were no secret curses, no hidden treasure proven by history, no mystical revenge, just politics, fear, and power. And that is the real lesson history leaves us with. Even the most powerful institutions can fall not on the battlefield, but in silence, when truth becomes inconvenient. Because sometimes history doesn't end with defeat. It ends with a knock on the door at dawn.